not going to let you get ahead unless it's on the corner.
He's 4 for 9 in this series. Lifetime against Contreras, 1 for 9. So here we go with the Blue Jays, who are a good hitting ball club. They're hitting .298 as a club with a 3.94 team ERA. And the first pitch of the ball game. Back on the outside corner. Not nearly as windy as it has been in the first 2 games of this series, especially in game 1. Mercy.
That was about as windy as it got, with gusts 45 miles an hour. And you couldn't really tell where the wind was blowing out or blowing in as far as it came in sections in the outfield.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Drop down, that fastball hit hard into left center field, but Carlos is there, makes the catch, and that's out number 1.
One of the things I liked about Jose with the first hitter was that he stayed over the top on strike 1. That could be something that he changes. I don't say he's going to stay over the top all the time, but it helps to have somewhat of a consistent release point.
Aaron Hill, the second baseman, hitting at .376, 5 homers and 18 driven in. 32 hits already. As he looks at ball 1, and here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. Two and 0 the count.
Well, now you have to be careful with Hill because he has hit 5 home runs, back entirely healthy this year, and he's starting to show some tremendous power.
And the count 3-0. Come back and get it. There's one. Hill, 27 years old. Reminds me a little bit of another second baseman in this league down in Texas, Ian Kinsler. They're both very aggressive as that's off the end of the bat. Got a lot of spin on it, so that'll be a base hit.
Chris Getz has a little bit of a fracture on the tip of his finger. I know Hawk, you talked with him last night. I talked with him today. He doesn't anticipate that it's going to take a long period of time, and that's a bad break for him because he's off to a great start.
Indeed he is. But it's one of those things, it's just a nagging type thing. It's just a little chip in there. As here is Alex Rios. Rios at 247, a homer he's driven in 12, takes up high. Yeah, it's one of those nagging type things, just sore enough to where you got to take your finger off the bat when you're hitting, and it hurts when you throw. Gap out there in left center field's backing off the line at third. And there's the strike. Count evens at 1.
Rios has tremendous speed for a big man. Last year he swiped 32 bags. So far not swinging the bat real well, and Jose's hoping that that continues.
Just a decent lead by Hill as that ball hit into right field. Jermaine is there. 2 down.
Cito Gaston doesn't run a whole lot with this team. He's got a lot of thunder in the middle of the lineup. He knows that. So usually he won't try to run his way out of innings. Now that might change with Contreras, who's very much aware that he's a little slow to home plate.
It will change. It will change. He gets the right guys on the base paths. They're going to be running today. As here's Vernon Wells at 266, 3 homers. He's driven in 9. Vernon 4 for 18 lifetime off Contreras. Takes first pitch, strike.
Again, Hawk, he stayed straight over the top on that, and he hasn't been doing that to the right-handers. That one at 91 miles an hour, so maybe he did find something on the side.
Little tweak here, little tweak there. Count evens at 1 to the 30-year-old center fielder. And we got to send out a big White Sox congratulations and thank you to young Nick Boyd. What a job he did on "O Canada" and our national anthem. Mercy. There's a Matabatacola, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Just over the outstretched reach. So 2 soft singles here in the top of the first. And that'll bring up Adam Lynn, the DH.
AJ's going out to have a word with Contreras with runners at the corners.
Wells is 3 for 3 in stolen bases.
This entire Toronto team is 9 of 10 in stolen bases, so they don't run often, but they're very successful when they do.
Well, they stole 3 in the opener. They were 3 for 3.
Fairly uncontested.
And the same thing's going to hold true. There's that ball in the dirt. Adam Lynn, 3 for 10 in the series, 25 years old. He can hit. Comes in at .329, 3 homers and 15 RBIs.
Well, between Lynn and Snyder, they've got 2 young, pretty powerful left-hand hitters, which gives them a lot of balance in this lineup.
Outfield around to the left. And you got the makings right here of a bases loaded situation with Scott Rowland being the hitter. And just waving that bat as the count moves to 3-0. Long look down at old friend Nick Leyva at third base. Good baseball man. He's with us for about 5 years. Don't throw him a cookie. And it was not. Good pitch on the outside part.
If you throw the ball out there and have any kind of movement on it, he's going to hit the ball to left or left center field. With that in mind, Brian Anderson a couple of steps into left center.
That ball's hammered down into the corner. So forget about the bases loaded with Rowland. Now they're going to wave Vernon Wells around. And the throw is over the cutoff man's head. And so 2 soft singles, 2 bloops and a blast right here. And it's 2-0. Blue Jays.
As soon as I saw AJ set up inside, I thought the location probably wasn't going to be real good. And you can see that that ball is on the inner portion of the plate, but Lynn just too good a hitter. He drives in, runs 16 and 17. And once again, the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead.
So he picks up his 8th double, 4th of this series. He had 3 in game 1, and here's Scott Rowland. That ball high into right center field. Now Jermaine Dye makes the call. So the 3-1 fastball to Lind, belted for a double in this 2-0 Toronto.
ERA 3.72, one of the best in the business. 67 games over 500 lifetime.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Halliday with a 2-0 lead. First pitch strike to Lillibridge. That 1 for 7 in this series. Halliday this year in 29 innings has 26 strikeouts and he has walked 3. It's that old saying right here, Stevie. The better they are, the quicker you got to get them.
Well, you're also going to have to beat him because he's not going to beat himself. He's got a fastball, Hawk, that's most unusual in that his 4-seam fastball, which is usually pretty straight, acts like a cut fastball. It moves away from the right-handers into the lefties. He also throws a 2-seamer, and he's got a real good curveball. Doesn't throw a definitive slider, but he really doesn't have to because he gets everything else over the plate.
Breaking ball down low. Halliday 6'6", 230 pounds, out of Odessa, Florida. And the 2-2 delivery. Raced in the right center field for a base hit. Get between them. It will. Lillibridge in with the leadoff double.
After missing with a fastball, Halliday tried to come back and heat him inside. Didn't get that fastball in there, and Brent starts off with a ringing double to right center field. He's got tremendous speed. He has a play in front of him, knowing he's going to get there without a play at second base.
So Josh has got a job to do. Josh comes in hitting at 258, a homer. He's driven in 9. 0 for 3 lifetime off Halliday. Took that pitch nicely downstairs.
Now Josh has tried to bunt and has once successfully, tried to bunt a couple of other times, and so the advanced scouts, even with a guy with the power of Fields, they've got Rolen in even with the bag at third.
Outfield bunched a bit straight up. And there's a base hit. They'll get the job done and get the man in. And it's a 2-1 ball game. Josh Fields, nice job.
You could tell by that swing that Josh was going to take that ball to right field or hit it foul, but he was going to take it to the right side. So he went up there with a real good idea about what he wanted to do, an inside-out swing, and he just loops it into right field. RBI number 10. Pretty good way to start against an exceptional pitcher, and you're right, Hawk. If you can jump on him early, you've got a shot.
You've got to. The good ones, you've got to get them early. Early in the count, early in the game. And here's Quentin. Off the end of the bat, Carlos at 246, 7 homers, 14 knocked in. Breaking ball. Got a different tilt to it than he used to have.
We'll take another look at it. Well, instead of the 12-6, Hawk, he's kind of gone to high 3/4 and gets a little side spin on the ball. It's equally as effective.
Well, a lot of guys had to do that, Steve, because of the fact that there's a base hit. Just reached up, pokes it into left field, didn't get greedy. But a lot of pitchers had to do that because there for a while, about 10 years ago, the umpires on 12-6s, they would not give you the strike.
No, they call it high, and then when you threw it at the belt, the catcher caught it at the shoe tops, and they call it low.
It made a lot of. They were making the curveball obsolete.
Well, that was a tremendous bit of hitting by Carlos. He shortens his swing. Take a look at this. This is just protecting. This ball isn't a strike. But Carlos, with real good plate coverage, takes that ball out away. All he's trying to do is stay alive. I mean, you think just get the bat on the ball, maybe something good will happen. 3 straight hits, and that's good.
Jim Thome hitting at 216, 4 homers. He's driven in 10. Now he has hit Knock Halliday well as that ball is bobbled. Now bobbled and recovered, and in time to get Tomey.
Let's take a look at the Lowe's defense and how they line up behind Halliday. It's Snyder, Wells, and Rios left to right, with Rowland, Scudero, Hill, and Overbay. Rod Barajas behind the plate. And one of the league's best, Roy Halliday, on the mound. Sox got a tremendous break because that would have been easily two. Hill is a sure-handed second baseman. This is the #1 defense in the American League, and yet he bobbled the ball, and there's the break. Watch Hill
here's
again.
Jermaine Dye.
And Hill is thinking two before he got one.
Well, that's why he bobbled it. That breaking ball downstairs. Jermaine. 2-run homer last night. And there's a strike. Jermaine did not like that call from Marvin Hudson.
Well, Jermaine's 6'5", and that looked like it would have been a good strike on Mickey Rooney. Not a particularly good strike on Jermaine Dye.
Wow. That's not good. That's flipped, and that's going foul. And right now, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. John Walsh, Bill Goob, our producer director. Crew, they're going to go with Josh Fields. Lisa, Steve, and Tex going to go with Jim Tomey and the Holland family down in Granger, Indiana. Steffi, Steve, Alec, and Mia. Myself, we're going to go with Alexei. The 1-2 pitch. Big strikeout right there.
Especially when you consider they were going to concede the run in the infield, but that second called strike made a huge difference in that at bat.
Well, it just puts you strictly, not 100%, but close, 99% on the defense when you get a strike like that call, because it opens up the whole strike.
Well, you're 2-0 if that one's called the ball, and then you're 1-1 facing one of the best curveballs in the league.
Yeah, that's just a big pitch in that sequence right there. It just changes the whole attitude of the hitter if that pitch is taken. Not attitude, but posture, mental posture of the hitter.
Well, Roy Halliday knows as well as anybody that A.J. Pierzynski has actually hit him pretty well also. He's in the on-deck circle. That might get Paul Konerko a better pitch to hit.
Probably 3 for 7 in the series. And the count 2-0.
This will be the 18th pitch. And the Sox are making Halliday work for it here in the first inning.
Paulie in good shape with the catbird seat. Softly hit. Hill makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. So the Sox do score one, but blow a golden opportunity to add more.
Chance to watch some of that game last night, and it was terrific. Blackhawks just did everything a little bit better. You had your requisite fights, and at the end of the day, Javi Bulin had a wonderful game.
2-1 Toronto lead here in the top of the second inning. Lyle Overbay takes first pitch strike. 5-1 victory by the Hawks. Way outside. 1-1 the count. Overbay hitting at .310, 3 homers. He's driven in 10.
And he came over from Milwaukee because they had to clear first base for a young man by the name of Prince Fielder. Overbay's been a good player for Toronto.
And the count 2-1. Well, Jose's going to have to show him he can get a breaking pitch over. Whether it be the fork ball, whether it be a slider, something off speed, or else it's not going to be good. And the count 3-1.
You know, Hawk, when you have a lot of different release points, it's tough to get that split finger over the plate because you really have to stay as high 3/4 or over the top as you can.
The 2-0, 3-1 fastballs from Contreras are not going to get it done.
Not against a good hitting team like this.
No, it's not going to get it done. It's just like Hall of Famer Don Drysdale used to say all the time. That ball hit the second. He used to say all the time, if you can't get a breaking ball over, you're going to lose. And as far as the release points, his theory on that was he would just hope that other teams, opposing managers, when Drysdale pitched, would put all left-handed hitters because his release point would be the same all day. And so that just verifies what you're talking about.
Once you lock into that low and away to the left-hand hitter, you never have to vary. You're looking at the same spot.
Here's Rod Barajas hitting at .250, a couple of homers. He's driven in 9. But when you're pitching behind to a team that can swing the bats, and this is an aggressive hitting ball club, very aggressive hitting ball club. And by that, I'm not talking about, they will take you deep into counts, but they're still an aggressive team by nature.
Well, Jose is 2-0-3-1 here, and if you do that, you just can't last in the game.
It's a matter of time.
You're going to be going to your bullpen early.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time if you're going to be 2-0-3-1. There are some pitchers that can pitch with 2-0-3-1 counts occasionally and get the job done, but those are guys who are throwing middle to upper 90s with pretty good control of that fastball. Now the breaking ball might be off for him, causing him to get in the hole. There's a strike.
And one of the arts of pitching is to have the ability to throw the breaking ball in a fastball situation and a fastball when the hitter's looking breaking ball and get them over the plate consistently.
That ball is hammered, going foul. Thank you very much.
There's a 3-1 fastball. Unfortunately, Barajas, who does have power, got around a little too quickly. But that was a fastball situation at 3-1. You get the breaking ball over the plate, you probably get a ground ball to the left side.
And the payoff pitch. There's a shot.
When Jose drops down, sometimes he gets in a situation where he'll throw almost 90% fastballs from the sidearm position. Doesn't take a real smart hitter to understand that if he drops down, it's going to be a fastball. Then it just comes to, if he misses his spot, they're going to hit it real hard.
Here's Travis Snyder. He's 3 for 6 in the series, hitting at .302, 3 homers. He's driven in 10. Just 21 years old. He's powerful. Well, the thought process on the Blue Jay hitters right now is one of, if you go to the plate, you got to be looking first ball, fastball. It's just that simple. First ball, fastball.
Right. If a guy can't get anything else over the plate, you have to look fastball.
He did not check it up, said Marvin Hudson, and the count very quickly 0-2.
That's a good play by AJ, because that was another split finger that went into the dirt. Could have easily gotten by AJ, but he was able to block it.
AJ has been nothing short of sensational this year behind the plate and blocking pitches.
Well, you mentioned it earlier that Contreras might be the toughest guy in the league to catch.
Well, he gone. 2 down.
That was the best split finger he's thrown perhaps this year. Take a look at it as it just dives out of the zone, and for Travis Snyder at 21, he hasn't seen too many of those. And that was
just the way you said it.
That was really an emergency hat.
In other words, just say the way it came out was he's got to throw the best splitter he's thrown all year to these guys.
to get this guy.
And here's Scudero. Take strike 1. Scudero hit the ball fairly hard into left field. Appeared that the ball just got out there and died a little bit. Maybe caught it a little towards the end of the bat. But as Steve mentioned, Scudero, a good first ball fastball hitter.
He's really one of those guys that you have to see to appreciate. I mean, you have to see him a lot because he doesn't do any one thing that's going to jump out at you, but the combination is a pretty solid player.
There's the strike.
And that was a sidearm slider. AJ wants it on the outside corner. That ball is in a perfect spot.
That ball is laced back through the middle into center field for a base hit. So he is a good fastball hitter. And usually, as a rule, guys who are what you call really good fastball hitters, there's a reason for it. And the reason is they look for it all the time.
They also don't care if it's up, down, in, out. If they're looking for a fastball and they get it, they're going to hit it hard.
That is a lot of things. That's something that a lot of people really don't understand. And sometimes you'll hear people say, well, how could he swing at that? As that popped up. And we'll get back to that when we return. But Aaron Hill is going to pop up to Brian Anderson, and that'll retire the side after an inning and a half. 2-1 Blue Jays.
Like the fan deck, the warning track, or an individual game diamond suite. Place your order today by calling 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com for more details.
Well, Steve, that point you brought up about this Toronto ball club, which is very applicable to Jose Contreras' fastball. They don't have to keyhole him. they can just look for it where there's high, in or out a little bit, down a little bit, and still hit it hard.
And they have.
First pitch strike to AJ. Softly chopped. And let's take another look at that first pitch right there to AJ. He turned around at Marvin Hudson. AJ said, if you're going to give it to him, give it to Jose.
Well, normally when a catcher sets up on the outside corner and then has to reach all the way across the plate with the glove down, catching it down, you just don't get the benefit of that call.
I've always had a real sympathy for catchers. They're in double jeopardy when they go to the plate and they have to hit, and the umpire misses a couple of pitches on them, and they want to say something, but they can't because it just gets their pitcher in trouble. Usually what they'll do, though, is they'll say, okay, that's a strike for Halliday. Give my guy the same pitch.
You have to be fairly diplomatic.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why that job is really difficult, that job behind the plate every day. It's difficult because you have to be an offensive player, but your first responsibility is as a defender, and you have to know your pitchers very well and know every hitter on the other team and what he can't hit.
2-2 pitch to Bryan. Softly hit on the curveball. It falls for the base hit.
Well, Hill wanted to throw to first base, but Overbay was observing Hill running so well that he forgot to get to the bag. Bryan's been getting a lot of these lately, and if you stay with it, you will make some contact. And Hill tries to make the play. Watch when he gets it and turns around to throw to first base and realizes that John Hirschbeck, the umpire, is the closest guy to the bag.
So here's Alexei, 3 for 7 in the series with a homer. That coming last night, and 5 RBIs, those coming last evening. That's chopped foul.
There's a big moment from last night. His 5th grand slam. The 2nd quickest ever to 5 grand slams. That's in the history of this game.
Rudy York was the quickest, 139 games. Alexei took 152. Run it back, and the count 0-2 to Ramirez.
Pretty good idea because he saw Roland back at third base. But when you drop the head of the bat, the ball's always going to be popped up.
Outfield, they don't move around much here. The Blue Jays, they're mostly bunched just a shade and straight up. 1 out. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Bryan very quickly takes off.
That's a wild pitch, but that's heads-up base running. As soon as Bryan saw that Barajas had juggled the ball, he just took off, and Barajas couldn't find it, so he moves into second base. And that's one of the things I know they worked on in spring training, which was try to be a little more aggressive. You see that ball in the dirt, take a couple of steps toward the bag. If the catcher catches it, you can always go back. This time, Barajas just lost track of it.
Well, Ozzie was very good at that as a player. When that ball hit that dirt, Oz was gone. 1-2. Lays off that one.
That's the first wild pitch of the year for Halliday. The 7th for the Blue Jays. And it puts Brian Anderson, representing the tying run, into scoring position. But there's some pretty good arms in the outfield, especially Wells and Rios in center and right.
And both those guys get to it very quickly as well. So 1 out. Anderson at second and the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball right off the end of the bat. 2 down.
Well, now Brian has to get a really good secondary lead at third base because Halliday has such a sharp breaking curveball. He throws a lot of them in the dirt. And although Barajas has done a nice job keeping most everything in front of him, might be able to steal a run here.
Here's Lillibridge. He doubled into right center field and scored. 2-5-0 for the Blue Jays, 1-4-0 for our White Sox. Takes that breaking ball strike. Ground ball to the shortstop, sucked up by Scudero, and he'll peg him out, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across, and we'll go to the third, trailing by 1.
With the purchase of a 32-ounce Big Gulp at participating 7-Eleven stores.
First pitch strike to Alex Rios, leading off here in the top of the third. 2-1 bad guys. Rios 0 for 1 went out to his counterpart Jermaine Dye. Softly hit, 1 hop. 2 pitches, 1 out. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Vernon Wells, who had a duck snort. Base hit, but he came around and scored.
And Vernon had a tough year last year. He had a lot of injury problems, but normally when he's healthy, he's a terrific hitter.
He is. He's a terrific player. So this is going to be 3 pitches and 2 outs. Yeah, he does everything well. And he's a good clutch hitter, too. That's one reason I respect Vernon Wells. He runs well, he throws well, he plays good center field.
I think if you watch him play center field, the real interesting part is that he seems to run to the spot and the ball then nestles into his glove. Very rarely does he look awkward at all. It looks like he's gliding to it and gets there in plenty of time.
Well, that's instinctive right there. He runs terrific routes. Most of the outstanding center fielders that I've seen over my career never had any problems with running the right route. They very seldom took a bad one. Now, occasionally they will. I don't care what your name is. You know, you might not be able to pick it up, or there's a lot of white shirts behind home plate.
Or the ball hit right at you that you don't know if it's going to sink or sail.
That is the most prevalent as far as taking a bad route. Usually it's because they back up a step or two on that one and then have to come in. But Vernon's just a good player. And this guy is just a good hitter. A 2-run double on a 3-1 fastball down in the right field corner. His 4th double of this series. And he's got himself a 3-1 count again.
Well, if they do go with a fastball, he'd best keep it away this time. And that's a perfect spot for him.
If he makes that pitch again, he's going to get it.
Gets off that raised front foot. We showed it to you with the toe inward.
Payoff pitch.
Hawk, why will the guy, I can understand the front raised foot, why will he turn that foot in toward the catcher?
Stay closed a little longer. The ideal situation for a young hitter, especially coming to the big leagues. The biggest problem they have are twofold. Number one, being in between when they go up there, and number two, opening up too quick. So it's harder to cure number one than it is number two. And what you can do if you're standing there, and I'm standing there and I'm waiting for the pitch, and all of a sudden if I can pick my foot up and think I'm pointing my heel to the second baseman, I'm going to stay closed. Now, it won't be pointing towards him, but that's the perception that I have to have. That ball hit well into center field. Brian Anderson got a good jump, and that's a can of corn. So that'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the third. We need one to tie.
For the April matchup against the Seattle Mariners, the 27th through the 29th of April. To purchase your 2009 individual game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com.
2-1 Blue Jays on top here in the top of the third inning. I'll check the bottom of the third inning, and it'll be Josh Fields, Carlos Quentin, and Jim Thome. Josh did a real good thing his first at bat. Lily Bridge led it off with a double. Josh was definitely, as Steve mentioned, going to move that ball to the right side. He did, and he got himself a base hit, knocked in a run. And he's got a 2-0 count. field. They're short. Bunched just a bit. Straight up. And it's 3-0.
Well, if he walks him here, you might as well give him the game ball, because that's something that Halliday doesn't do very often. 31 innings, just 3 walks.
There's one.
Now, can you afford to look fastball here if you're Josh Fields?
If he looks curveball, he's crazy. Full count. A pitch at 89. Looked like a little cutter right there.
He took a little something off it. It was a variation of his fastball, but it had some late movement.
Sure did. Darted out. And that one at 91.
Halliday so far is doing a whole lot of work. That's 55 pitches. That for him is most unusual because he's just starting the 3rd inning.
Well, we've seen it. We've had, actually, our club has had pretty good success against Doc in the past as compared to others. As that's ball 4. That's cutter right there. That one at 89.
You know, Huck, in talking with Darren Fletcher, who does about 25 of their games, he said that that's actually his fastball. It's his 4-seam fastball. Because of the way that it comes out of his hand, it does cut across. But he doesn't cut it by design. He's always had that kind of movement on it. It's one of the reasons why he's 67 over 500, is that everything he throws moves.
Well, it does, and he also has 2-seamer that moves down and in the right hand. Yes. Carlos just underneath that one. Yeah, that pitch on 3-1, and then the 3-1, and then the 3-0. A little movement on it. Good job by Barajas right there, keeping that in front so that the runner has no chance. Now, Jose Valentin, I don't know. He may have gone on that one. He's the best I've ever seen at that.
You have to be anticipating it. You have to take a good secondary lead and have your weight moving toward the next base. Then you see the ball in the dirt and you just anticipate that the guy's not going to catch it cleanly. The good base runners, if the catcher doesn't catch it cleanly, you're going to make it.
Or you're going to be sliding back into first.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. But those are the real aggressive base runners. We don't see a lot of that today.
There's a strike.
I see for Carlos, he thought that ball was going to be inside, but because of that cut action on the ball, the late movement, it just came right over the heart of the plate. Carlos is mad at himself, but that's the way Halliday's always thrown.
That shot into right field is going to hang up for Rios. Dadgummit. That ball was absolutely crushed by Quentin. And you knew as soon as he hit it, it was going to give Rios a chance to make the play.
I thought for a second there that Rios was going to be able to double him at first, but this throw is way off the mark. And Carlos couldn't hit the ball any harder. Sometimes you just hit in tough luck. He had a looping base hit in the first inning, and that one he hit 5 times as hard. It goes L9.
Here's Tommy grounded out to second. On the outside corner. Blue Jays really playing Tommy in this series more conventional than any other team we have seen so far.
Normally you always see 3 guys on the right side of the infield. Scudero is up the middle, but he's on the third base side of second.
Halliday tries to double him up in that same spot. Misses in the count 1-1.
Another thing, Vernon Wells is playing him exactly straight up, and normally you see the center fielder playing him into left center field.
That cut on that fastball is giving our guys a little problems. It's almost like a sailor. That ball hit into left center field. Snyder will get over, cut it off. Now the ball is bobbled, so Josh sees that. He moves into third base. And with one out, Sox have runners at the corners.
Well, we told you normally the center fielder's over there, but Vernon Wells was playing him straight up, and Jim hit that ball right into the gap. Now Snyder comes over, and it's going to be an interesting play if he comes up with it cleanly. But Josh Fields is looking at the play. You don't have to pick up the coach there. You have the play in front of you all the way, and when Snyder missed it, Fields went on to third easily. So runners at the corners with a golden opportunity for Jermaine Dye.
Jermaine struck out his first trip. Little chopper. Halliday just looks at the runner, now goes to first. So for the second time, JD has an opportunity to get the man in, can't get it done, and there's two out.
That time Halliday went to the two-seam fastball. That's the one, instead of sliding across, goes down and in. You can see the sink on that ball, and that's why JD got over the top of it. Nothing more frustrating for guys that are run producers than leaving a man at third base with less than two out.
Well, you saw the variance right there of his fastball that cuts versus the two-seamer that goes down and in to the right-hander. When that ball gets to the plate, if it starts off in the same line, the cutter and the two-seamer, by the time he gets to the plate, there's about a foot variance in the distance.
Well, that's also why the radar gun is many times fairly useless when evaluating a pitcher. Because show me a guy 94 and straight as opposed to 91 with late movement, and scouts love that 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, but late movement will always trump the big fastball.
Even if it's 100 straight, it doesn't make any difference.
No.
That one just does catch the outside edge of the outside corner to even the count at one.
Pretty good pitch. That came over the plate, a strike. By the time it got to Barajas, it was out of the zone, but it was a good call by Hudson.
Yeah, it caught that front corner. Now, big pitch right there. So the advantage goes to Paulie. 2-1. You sitting at home watching this, you're very seldom, if any, are going to see Halliday throw anything that's straight today. There's a shot, base hit. They're going to score a pair. Ball gets by Snyder, so Paulie gets a second opportunity with ducks on the pond. This time cashes in, and the Sox lead it 3-2. Yes.
Ball came into that at bat hitting .438 with runners in scoring position. That puts him as the team leader in that department. So he got a fastball and he drilled it. Hit it so hard that Snyder couldn't get to it, couldn't cut it off. RBIs 14 and 15, and more important than that, the Sox have the lead. You see, that was a two-seam fastball, but that ball stayed up. There was no sink on that at all until it sunk by Snyder.
So here is AJ. Bounds that one over into the Blue Jay dugout. 3-6-0 for our Sox, 2-5-0 for Toronto.
That was a big at bat for Paul Konerko, picking up Jermaine Dye. You don't want to continually leave guys on base against a pitcher the caliber of Halliday, because they usually just get stronger.
And the count 0-2. AJ 7 for 26 lifetime off Halliday with a homer, and he's knocked in 7 runs. Good two-strike hitter right here, AJ. Rojas to the inside.
Halliday in his 10th year of Major League pitching. Last year completed 9 games, struck out over 200 men. In this day and age, you complete 9 games, you're going to complete more than most teams complete.
Where's Wilbur Wood when you need him?
He could complete a few.
2-2 the count. Yeah, Willie will complete 2 in one day. As he gets him, but a beautiful at bat right there by Paul Konerko. Knocks in a pair. Sox lead it 3-2. First pitch down low to Lyle Overbay, leading off here in the top of the 4th inning. Overbay grounded out to second his first trip. Outfield around to the left, gap out there in right center.
Overbay came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks and had the same problem that he's had some other places, in that he's never been a big home run hitter at a position that usually has them.
There's a strike, and the count 2-1.
A couple years ago he hit 22. Yeah, a couple years ago he hit 22, and then all of a sudden his average started to drop because he became too homer conscious.
And the count evens at 2. 4th inning in Kansas City, 2-1 Detroit. Two delivery.
We'll take a look at Contreras, and you see the split finger grip. And there's the splitter.
AJ.
I think he wanted that one, and I know that Jose wanted it.
Yeah, when he hesitates like that. So the payoff pitch. And that's where AJ's saying to himself, that's a strike on me.
And you might remember that Jermaine Dye strike.
Once again, the 3-2. And another souvenir.
AJ talking it over with Marvin Hudson.
That's high in the left field. Quentin over by the line, makes a catch. So good job by Contreras. Just kept pumping those strikes with a little something on them.
Cue the duck. As we have our Aflac trivia question. Aflac! Who has the most career grand slams in the American League? Would that be current or all time? There's always a little vagary. It's all time.
0-1 the count to Barajas, who singles sharply into left field. Checks it up, fouls it off, and the count 0-2. Later on, Seattle taking on the Angels in Anaheim, Tampa Bay at Oakland, Dodgers at Colorado, and Pittsburgh taking on the Padres at Petco.
The surprising Pittsburgh Pirates.
That ball's hammered into the gap. Nobody's going to get that. That's going to be a double. Got a roller right there on the 0-2 and hammered it.
Well, when a split finger doesn't go straight down, it looks like a rolling curveball. And Barajas was able to just time it perfectly. Reaches down, and he's 2 for 2.
That'll bring up Travis Snyder. Struck out on a check swing back in the second. Travis last year between, I believe, 4 clubs at 25 homers and knocked in 103. Short and quick. 6 feet tall, 235 pounds. Very seldom you see a young 20 or 21-year-old come into this league with that kind of size. It's short and quick with his swing.
One of the reasons why I love to go to the Arizona Fall League games, they get a chance to see players like Snyder. I got a chance to see him there, and you know that he's just going to be a good major league hitter. Didn't know about his defense, but you could tell by the stroke, and you said it, Hawk, that short swing. It's tough to duplicate.
Well, we got a guy who homered again last night in that Arizona Fall League that hit 12 home runs.
I saw him and was pretty impressed at the time. He was a property of the Atlanta Braves.
Tyler Flowers, catcher.
And the ball just jumps off his bat to all fields.
Off the end of the bat. Backhanded. Now couldn't find the ears on it, so that'll be an infield single for Snyder. And with 1 out, runners at the corners.
Snyder gets down the line pretty well. And Lillibridge had to play that ball cleanly to be able to get it. When he bobbles it, doesn't have a chance to get Snyder at first base. So runners at the corners now. in desperate need of a double play ground ball. Let's see if Scutaro will cooperate.
Well, he's a good contact hitter. He's 1 for 2 today. Getting back to Tyler Flowers, there's not a guy in the American League who's stronger than he is.
Now, we saw that in spring training.
That pitch low and away. So a jam here for Contreras. 0-2 rolling forkball to Barajas, and then bad luck right there. Made a good pitch on Snyder right off the end of the bat, and then beats it out for the base hit. Two 2-0 the count, so Scutaro now in great shape. He's got the catbird seat. Bobbled. So Barajas was coming. If he makes a clean play right there, they get him because he's coming on the contact, and he would have been out easy, but he didn't. He bobbled it, and now there's a 3-3 tie and 2 down.
With Barajas at third, I think if AJ, and I'm sure that he was yelling home because they still had to play at the plate. It's just that Jose, who was probably thinking 2 after he bobbled it, he's looking at third base, but Barajas is halfway down the line.
That's where feeling your position really is just immeasurable over the course of a career. Guys who can do it help themselves out tremendously.
Well, a few years ago, Jim Cott won something like 17 or 18 Gold Gloves. Maddox won 18 Gold Gloves.
Hill will ground that out to Alexei, but they pick up a run, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 3.
Time in the American League. And the answer is Lou Gehrig. 23. What did Eddie Murray have? 22?
I wanted to say 21.
Don Mattingly's similar number?
I don't think Don had that many. He had, I think Robin had, what, 14? Mattingly had maybe 15 or 16. As Brian Anderson will lead it off. We'll find out. There's a strike. Brian. Little duck snort single his first trip.
Had a pretty good idea of bunting the ball.
Gehrig.
Yeah, well, he played enough games to have enough chances to do that.
And you know, he played them all in a row.
He did that. And also with the teams he had, he probably had an opportunity many times with the bases loaded.
Breaking ball. Good job right there by Brian, just waiting. He stayed closed. He didn't break that front shoulder down. Meanwhile, he fouls it off and he's in the hole 1-2. That's a pretty good pitch to hit hard to right field.
That was a curveball that stayed up.
Yeah.
And that's the reason he was able to fight it off.
Pretty good rip right there. Lou Gehrig. Had a manager one year that roomed with Babe Ruth. Obviously played on that team. Well, he roomed with Babe Ruth's luggage.
Jimmy Reese?
No, Lloyd Gray. Left-handed pitcher. That's fouled away. And of course, being 17 years old, just in professional baseball, you wanted to ask all the questions that you could.
Sure.
And it was true about Babe Ruth. Eating 8 to 12 hot dogs before a game. Used to do that. Some of the things he would do for kids was unbelievable. Loved kids, Babe Ruth did. But there's another foul back. Didn't particularly care for adults, but he loved the kids.
Well, the interesting part about it, when you look at some of the numbers, was he was hitting more home runs than most teams hit in that era. That's how dominant he was, and he was a great pitcher to go with it.
Checks it up. Good check by Brian. And the count 2-2. 19 slams for Eddie Murray.
Just a tremendous player. He was a guy that also played most every day.
And a full count, so a good at bat right here is Brian, leading off the bottom of the 4th inning in this 3-3 tie, working out the good doctor who is now, the next pitch will be number 60 in 3+ innings. So that bodes well for us.
Well, this is a real good at bat because he spoiled some excellent pitches.
That ball hit hard. Scudero knocks it down, now guns over to first base, not in time. Ball was smoked by Brian, so the leadoff man aboard.
We're going to give him a base hit because that was a rocket. Brian with very good speed and a good play on the other end by Overbay, but Scudero did a good job just to knock it down. That almost took him into left field with it.
So here's Alexei. As he squares the bunt, he's going to pull it back, maybe Butcher Boy, but he takes the ball.
Well, they guessed that it was going to be a hit and run, even though he was standing up there showing bunt, and on the pitch out, nothing doing. So Alexei ahead, 1-0.
You got Roland coming well in on the grass at third. Boy, that's just not a good attempt right there.
No, well, Alexei can't be dropping the head of the bat, and if he's sacrificing, which he is, you'd like to square around and keep that bat out in front of you. Watch the head of the bat. That is real bad technique, and I'm sure that's going to be addressed.
Yeah, you see an effort like that, and if you're a manager, you gotta flip-flop it. You gotta take off the button, take your chances with him swinging the bat.
Well, we always talk about good managers and understanding their teams. You have to know what your players can't do. It's more important than knowing what they can do.
Well, you know about what there goes the runner, and that pitch is fouled away. You know about what they can do. What good managers do is they find out what they can do, and then they don't ask them to do it.
And until Alexei really works out the mechanics of that sacrifice bunt, he's either going to pop it up or miss it by dropping the head of the bat.
Two pitch. Long set by Doc. Curveball just waved at. That's playable. Barajas gets rid of the mask, and that is out number 1. And want to acknowledge a group of 8 in attendance this afternoon. The Fruitland High School broadcasting program from Fruitland, Idaho. They're in attendance, so a big White Sox welcome to them. Have a nice day and a safe trip home.
Preparing to take our jobs as we speak.
As well they should. Here's Lillibridge. He led off the bottom of the first with a double. He scored. Then he grounded to short. Hit the ball well.
Well, because he's hit the ball hard twice, this is a good situation for a hit and run, but I would be very careful on the first pitch.
Well, Cito's got so many options with Halliday that just fits right into a winning record, which he's got. He's 67 games over 500. But Halliday, if Cito's managing against a manager who he knows wants to hit and run or steal or whatever it may be, he can pitch out once, maybe twice with him. Other guys you cannot. You don't have that luxury. But right there, they're going to nail him. So Brian now 2 for 4 in stolen bases.
Well, it's a good solid throw, and it was a hit and run, but that ball was well out of the zone. And Scutaro waiting for Anderson to arrive.
That's one of those ball beat runner out situations.
Yeah, that's a neighborhood tag.
One and 2. And that's poked at, popped up, and that'll be the 3rd out. So we get the leadoff man aboard, and we'll go to the 5th in this 3-3 tie. The heart of this Toronto order. Ball hit hard. Nice pick right there by Josh. The peg. Beautiful play. 1 out.
Vote to send Sox players to the 2009 All-Star Game. Join our punch party on Monday, April 27th to kick off the All-Star voting. Come to Gate 1 Plaza. Let's try this again.
Redo.
Come to Gate 1 Plaza when gates open at 5:30 p.m. Punch ballots and participate in our pregame punch parade around the field.
I love mulligans.
That's a good one. I can read that again next inning. I might be able to get it out in sections.
Vernon Wells takes ball one. He had a little soft single, scored back in the first inning, and then he grounded to Josh at third. Takes that pitch inside and the count 2-0. Gap out there in right center. Not hit hard. Picked by Lillibridge. 2 down.
Jose would like to make this a 1-2-3 inning. He's at 81 pitches.
Well, he's only thrown 4 so far here.
Yeah, so far it's been very economical.
Here is Adam Lind. 2-run double and a base on balls. Takes first pitch strike. One thing that impresses you about Lind, as it did when we first saw him, is that's off the end of the bat. He's aggressive, but he's not afraid to take it deep into the count. So that is a 6-pitch inning for Contreras. And we're halfway home, tied at 3. All right, Chuck Meister, thank you very much. First pitch breaking ball, a good pitch to hit, and Josh really upset with himself, as he should be. That was a rolling breaking ball upstairs and had downtown written all over it.
Halliday has hung a few breaking balls today, and that's most unusual for him.
0-2 the count. Yeah, when you get a mistake off Doc Halliday and you don't do anything with it, chances are you're in for a short at bat. Just off the corner. 1-2. Josh has an RBI single in the first. He walked and scored in the third. Got another good breaking ball to hit right there. That's 2 in this at bat.
Well, I think Halliday's going to certainly make an adjustment, because when you look at that curveball and see it come up there spinning, you're on the mound. You've gotten away with 2 in the same at bat. You're going to throw one over the outside corner next pitch.
If he does, he gone. Long look in. Try it right there. Yeah, you got to be real lucky to get 2 hangers off Halliday in a game, much less in
the same
one
at
bat. One out. That's the 3rd strikeout for the good doctor, and that'll bring up Carlos Quentin, who's 1 for 2.
And he just did away with the idea of a hanging breaking ball by going to 2 fastballs. One he missed on the outside corner. That one he just threw by Josh on the inner portion of the plate.
Carlos, a little soft single. Good piece of hitting in the 1st inning on a curveball. Just flipped it over the shortstop's head. But then in the 3rd, he hit a rocket in the right center. Jose Rios made a nice catch on him. That's inside. That's a bad feeling, isn't it, for you, Stevie? As many curveballs as you threw, you had to hang a few.
Oh, yes. Many of them went out of the yard. You don't remember the ones that stayed in the park.
That's back in count 1 and 2. Well, one of the most animated pitchers that played in the big leagues back in the 60s and 70s was a guy named Denny McClain.
31 wins. I remember him well.
31 wins in 1968. And Denny would occasionally throw a pitch. He did it to me one day in Tiger Stadium. Hung a slider, and as soon as the ball left his hand, I can't say over there what he said, but he said it. He never looked at it, and what he would do is he'd just look at the umpire and go, "Give me another one." The 2-2. Good take right there. Good pitch by Halliday. Just gives Marvin Hudson a second glance.
Well, this ball's off the plate, and I can understand where a pitcher would want that.
Sure.
But that's not all that close to a strike.
He thought he caught the front corner with it. There's the camera right there. And 2 down. 81 pitches Halliday has run up to home plate through 4 2/3. Halliday's one of those guys, though, that you don't keep a pitch count on. He likes to finish what he starts, but he's also one of those guys, if Cito goes out there or he comes in after the inning, how do you feel? He'll tell him. As Tommy fouls that one away. Jimmy is 1 for 2 with a run scored. There's some guys you can do that to, and some guys you can't.
He's been around long enough at this point to have a pretty good idea. He's won 20 games a couple of times. His best year back in 03 when he was 22-7. Last year 20-11. Pretty tough in the American League East to finish with an ERA of 2.78. But that's what Halliday did last year.
They got the shift on this time. He aces him right over the outside corner right there. So a 1-2-3 inning for Halliday, and we are still tied at 3. tape as that ball smoked down to Josh Fields on the first pitch by Scott Rowland, and 1 pitch, 1 out. So that's 7 pitches and 4 outs for Contreras. Rowland now 0 for 3.
And the last 6 outs have all been on the ground. That's a pretty good sign. Most pitchers, as they're tiring, get the ball up. Jose's kept the ball down.
Overbay has grounded to second and gone out to left.
There's the combatants. So far, not much to choose from. 3-7-0 each side.
Jermaine back. So that is 2 pitches, 2 outs.
The last 5 outs have come in rapid order. Nice play by Jermaine. He stays with that sinking line drive all the way. And this would normally mean that Barajas would be taking the first pitch. But I don't think you can take that for granted.
What, to get Halliday another 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds? Not if it's Barajas is a fastball hitter.
No, he's going to be looking first ball fastball.
If he gets it, he's going to go to hacking too.
Try to hit it in the bullpen.
Exactly. Taking all away. That old saying, well, it makes the team look bad when you go up there and you get 3 pitches, 3 outs. What's the difference if you're dangerous and you get a chance to hit it out of the ballpark? He took his fastball right down the middle and swings a bad breaking ball. Now he's 0-2. He was much more dangerous before that first pitch in the sequence was thrown. 1-2.
Late in the game, where a long ball can put you ahead, if Jose's going to drop down sidearm, he really has to concentrate and keep it on the outside part of the plate. You don't want to drop down and keep it on the inner portion.
That's into center field. Brian coming on, can't get there. Hit it right off the end of the bat. He's 3 for 3.
This ball's in a good spot. It's on the outside corner. Barajas does a nice job of plate coverage. If he's pulling off that ball at all, he's out. But by staying down on it, you just get the head of the bat and muscle it into center field.
Here's Snyder. He has struck out and has a soft infield single. He carried. Watch out. That's trouble. AJ knows it's going to stay fair. Nothing you can do. You just got to eat it. So that's going to go foul. Yes. Well, if he picks it up, AJ doesn't make many mental mistakes.
No, he's one of the smartest players in the league. A lot of people don't really understand that, but the spin of that ball, because it was hit off the end of the bat, it hit the grass and goes foul. If that ball stays on the dirt, it stays fair. That's the subtleties of the game. As soon as it hit the grass with that spin, watch it right there, it just spins into foul territory.
Good race. That would be 2 of the softest singles he's ever had in the game. Softly hit, up with it over to Alexei, and that'll do it. So another nice inning by Contreras. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th.
authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source.
Jermaine Dye to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Dye, Konerko, and Pierzynski. Jermaine 0 for 2. Couple of big men going at one another right here. As he takes it right there. 0-1 to count. Doc Halliday 6'6", 230 pounds. Got a good pitch to hit and good swing just underneath it.
That fastball was up on the outer portion of the plate. Jermaine fouled it straight back.
Has a broken bat. Booted by Hill. Now controls. Has time. Takes it. Makes it. And that's out number 1. Hill having a little trouble staying on that rail out there.
Well, unfortunately, that one did not bound far enough away. He kept it in front of him. That's a lesson for all you young infielders. If you stay in front of the ball, knock it down, you still have a chance. Play it off to the side, and that ball hops into the outfield after it hits off your body.
So a nice round of applause, and deservedly so, for Paul Konerko, who was 1 for 2, had a 2-run double with 2 out back in the 3rd inning. Just aces him on the outside corner. Paulie now against Halliday is 2 for 10, but he has 6 RBIs.
That's a lot of production out of a couple of hits. Well, Halliday has been touched for the long ball this year, and that's somewhat surprising the way he's thrown it today. But he's given up 4 home runs, and undoubtedly a couple at least came on that hanging breaking ball.
Paulie takes that one right there. That's slapped into right field. Rios comes on for out number 2.
Octavio Dotel is loosening up in the bullpen. All things considered, Jose Contreras has done a nice job today.
Well, I think we both would agree back in the 1st inning, the 3-1 pitch to Lynn was something that we both didn't like, but the point is, in my opinion, he has done a terrific comeback.
Yeah, he's made vast improvements over the first 3 starts to what we've seen today.
AJ a little frustrated at the plate this afternoon. He's 0 for 2. He's hit Halliday well in the past, coming in 7 for 25 with a homer and 7 runs knocked in. AJ is not too hard to read in his body language.
No, he'll let you know what he's thinking. I think he thought he should have driven that ball to left center field.
And out of here. Doc Halliday 67 games over 500. 134 up, 67 down. That's a little flare, and that's a AJ. He's frustrated today. Meanwhile, we'll go to the 7th, still tied at 3. pitched well.
And I would think at the 91 pitch mark that Don Cooper is going to keep a close eye on him here.
Nice pitch. Marco Scutaro didn't think so. He's 1 for 3, had a single, then he had an infield out that was bobbled by Contreras, but it knocked in a run. Josh. 2 pitches, 1 out. Scutaro has been very effective against us for the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, it seems when a guy's having a good run at you, what always happens is you miss the first couple of pitches and he just sits on a fastball. He doesn't try to overswing. And he hits it hard.
That ball's hit very hard by Aaron Hill. The hook foul. He's 1 for 3, a single and a run scored in the first. A little soft single. We've had a few of those today ourselves, though.
Yeah. Both pitchers have done a real good job of it so far. We're into the 7th inning. Just one more hit for the Blue Jays, and it's been a well-played, errorless game.
Checks it up, fouls it off, and the count 1-2. Bottom of the 6th in Kansas City, 3-1 Tigers. Colorado leading the Dodgers 2-0. Bottom of the 3rd in Denver. We're getting underway in Anaheim as the Angels host Seattle. Seattle coming here tomorrow, first of 3. So make your plans to be with us here at beautiful US Cellular. It's going to be Johnny Danks on the bump for us against Chris Jakubowskis. Jakubaskas. As we're going to he gone. And let's check out our Felco upcoming schedule. They see the 3 with the Mariners, off day on Thursday, then back to the road, 3 in Texas, 2 in Kansas City before returning home. But on Tuesday it'll be Bartolo Colon, and he'll be opposed by Felix Hernandez. And on Wednesday, Gavin Floyd against Eric Bedard. So the Mariners are going to run some pretty good pitching out there, as we are.
You just as soon see this inning end with Vernon Wells in the on-deck circle and have him lead off the next one.
1-1 the count to Rios, who is 0 for 3. High, got a good pitch to hit and was underneath it. Now Alexei staying with that win, and a nice inning right there for Contreras. 7th inning stretch in this 3-3 tie. Yes, he does. As we've got to get something going here. Brian Anderson is 2 for 2 this afternoon. He'll lead it off, to be followed by Alexei. And then back to the top of the order with Brent Lillibridge.
One of the things that Anderson has to look at is where Scott Rowland is setting up. And Rowland's looking over in the dugout to see if they want him in a couple of steps. He just motioned pretty much hands out, where do you want me? And apparently they want him even with the bag, at least to be heads up enough if Brian does bunt it.
So here we go. Outfield just a little more spread out now than they have been. Oh, and even with the bag off the line as that pitch is taken outside. Sox trying to take the rubber match of this 3-game set. Hit him on the fist, ate him up. Halliday right where he should be. So 2 pitches, 1 out. And also Sox trying to get through this real tough part of the schedule here in April. I mean, every team that we have played, with the exception of Baltimore, who is 8-10, every team we have played is 500 or better. And 2 of them, Toronto, leading the division, they're coming in at 13-6, and we got Seattle coming in tomorrow. As we speak right now, they're 12-6.
Well, looking at the schedule when we were in spring training, we didn't realize that Kansas City would be that much better. They really are. And then we knew we were going 4 to Tampa, and that was always tough. So this was not a really appealing early season because we weren't home all that much. Same thing with May. If we get through April and May, stay afloat, we're in pretty good shape because June, we're here a lot.
Yeah, Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Well, you know, you go down there, you take 3 or 4 from the defending American League champions. That's a good series. And we came off that tough road trip 5-4. So a big game for us here today. We got to scratch out a run or 2 on one of the best in the business in Doc Halliday.
Alexei hasn't put much lumber on it to this point, but he's seen everything that Halliday has.
2-2. The ball ripped right back through the middle. So good speed aboard, the 1-out single, and that'll bring up Brent Lillibridge.
That ball, Halliday just missed his spot, and Alexei drove it right back up the middle. So when I talked about seeing everything a pitcher has, he had thrown him both fastballs and the curveball. And that time, you miss your spot to a good hitter, you usually pay the price.
Brent is 1 for 3, a double and a run scored. Rowland still leading with the bag off the line in third. Outfield now swung around to the right. One of the bigger gaps that they have allowed in this ball game in left center. Decent lead by Alexei. There he goes. Pitch fouled away. How's he trying to get something going with 1 down here?
We can't blame him with Ramirez. He's got as good a speed as anybody on the club, except perhaps I think Lillibridge might be a touch faster. But he's certainly one of your best base runners.
And the 0-2 pitch. 2 down. Five strikeouts now for Halliday, and that'll bring up Josh Fields.
That one just disappeared low and away.
Josh had an RBI single in the first. He walked and scored in the third. He's 1 for 2. Josh coming off of it just a hair too quick. Boy, such a fine line and staying with the pitch, pulling your head just enough to where you lose sight 5 or 6 feet out in front of home plate.
Well, that wind is really starting to kick up now, and it's going to make a difference. It'll be real tough on fly balls because the wind has changed completely. It hasn't been like this all afternoon.
One and one to count to Fields.
Well, I don't think you'd mind leading off with Josh Fields instead of Carlos Quentin, so this might be a nice time to send Alexei and take a chance. Maybe you get a breaking ball and make it a good pitch to run on.
One and two.
Well, Halliday is quick to home.
I was getting ready to
plate.
say Halliday does so many things to enhance his record, you know, and that being one of them.
Good fielder, quick to home plate, varies his look, varies his timing as far as how he holds the ball.
There goes. Oh, good fake right there by Alexei. The pitch fell back. Yeah, when you can unload the home plate as fast as he does.
Especially at 6'6". I mean, he's a big man.
Yeah, he just unfurls a lot quicker than a lot of those big guys. I'm with you. I'd like to see Alexei take off.
Yeah, I think you have to at this situation.
There he goes. That's popped up. That wind's going to get it. Good effort right there by Lyle Overbay. Rios had no chance.
Overbay gave it a long run. Alexei has a good jump. The 2 strikes, Josh has to protect. Unfortunately, he has another life now. Marvin Hudson is going out to break up the conference on the mound between Barajas and Halliday.
Jason Frazier, bring him on. Nothing against Jason. Just won't get Doc out of there. Checks it up, fouls it off. Doc is thrown. He's got the beer frame.
111.
111 in the 7th.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of beers. It's 31,459. As there goes Lexi, the pitch out. Double clutch by Barajas, and he steals it.
They guess right and still don't get him out at second base. So that's been sitting out there waiting for them. And Barajas just didn't grab it. Makes a bad throw. Hill can't corral it. So that's a go-ahead run in scoring position.
Well, how about a little duck snort right here? 22. Broken back flare right over Marco Scudero's head. Nope. Breaking ball. And that'll do it. We'll go to the 8th. Still tied at 3.
Battled Roy Halliday to a dead flat tie. 3-8-0 for both teams. Great comeback for Contreras after a shaky first. And Linebrink comes in with no ERA, on for the 7th time. 6 innings, 5 hits. Hasn't walked a man yet, and he has to deal with the middle of the Blue Jay order.
Wells, Lind, and Rowland. Vernon had a little soft single, scored a run in the first. He also is grounded to third, and he is grounded to second. And as you just heard Chuck Garfien mention, Gordon Beckham. Birmingham lost 4-3 yesterday. Gordon Beckham went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Tyler Flowers 2 for 4 with a homer, his third. There's Tar. A bad pitch, got it. So the leadoff double.
Well, when Scott went to 2-0, you got Wells, who's a good hitter, looking fastball all the way. He got one up in his eyes and just drove it into left field. Bad location, but 2-0, you get a good hitter looking fastball. He's going to do that.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier in the game. With this particular ball club, they don't have to keyhole. These guys can get you, if they're looking fastball sitting dead red on them, they can get you where it's up, where it's out a little bit, in a little bit, down a little bit. They can still hit it hard. Yes, here's Adam Lind. He's got a job to do. He's 1 for 2, a 2-run double, a walk, and a grounder to second. He'd like to have that right now. Fastball high and wide, but Contreras, we expected him to do well today. This is his 4th start. He did. He pitched well, and that bodes well for our ball club. And he falls behind Lind 2-0. But getting back to our minor league report, Charlotte won 8-5. Scott Pasetnik went 3 for 4, a couple of runs scored. Josh Kroger started to get it heated up. He's 2 for 6 with 2 doubles in that game. Michael Restovich 1 for 2 with a home run, as that's not a good effort right there by Lind. And we check out our minor league report. John Van Benschoten, 2-1, was a winner in that game. Jimmy Gobble, 1 2/3, had 4 strikeouts. Former Kansas City left-hander.
Van Benschoten, you know, is from the Harvard of the Midwest.
He is.
Yeah. Kent State.
Kent State. Boy, there's been a lot of guys come out of there. That's down low, and the count 3-1.
Probably the greatest, Thurman Munson.
Wait a minute. Over Gene Michael.
Well, it's close.
Okay.
I mean, I'll grant you that it's close.
And the 3-1 pitch. Well, that's not good.
Here's
and
an
bring us Scott Rowland.
Interesting situation for Rowland, because normally if you've at least passed through St. Louis, you know how to bunt. And this situation actually cries out for one, even though Rowland is a very good hitter.
Well, we talked about it earlier. What good managers do is Rowland takes first pitch strike. They find out what the guy can't do and then don't ask him to do it. Now, I recall a couple of years ago, in 2 consecutive games with the Cardinals, there's a good strike and the count 0-2. In one game I saw Pujols bunt.
Well, I've seen him do
that. But he
that.
can bunt.
Yes, he can.
And I saw Jim Edmonds bunt, but he could bunt.
Not only bunt, but Pujols actually has his own sign for the hit and run. He'll put it on himself.
Well, managers love for guys to take that initiative. Hits him on the fist, flares it foul. Now you might be able to say, well, why doesn't Ozzie bunt a couple of our guys? Our guys can't bunt.
It's easy explanation.
Yeah. Ozzie's not going to ask them to do something they can't do. So you might say, well, bunting is easy. Everybody should be able to bunt. Well, that is not so. That is not the case at all. There's a base hit on the 0-2 pitch. So Wells is going to score. There's a throw to third base. They're going to get Roland at second. But the run scores, and it's 4-3 Toronto.
Linebrink having some problems today as Roland drives that ball. It's RBI number 8 for him. Good heads-up play by Ramirez. They put the tag on Roland, but they are still left with a man at third, and now the intentional walk.
Overbay. They want to get to Barajas. That is 3 for 3 today. A couple of singles, a double, and a run scored. One other mention, Jordan Danks down at Winston-Salem went 3 for 4 yesterday.
Well, he's been red hot lately.
Yes, he has. John's brother. He's hitting at .324. As there's a strike on the outside corner. He's got a couple of homers, 11 RBIs, and he's 4 for 4 in stolen bases.
When you talk about some scouting, we were able to get him in the 7th round. That's some pretty good scouting.
Go 1 pitch. 4-10-0 for them, 3-8-0 for us.
Now their normal closer, B.J. Ryan, is on the disabled list, so it's going to be a different situation for Cito Gaston, who normally just goes to Ryan, hands him the ball, and has him take it over.
But all the injuries that the Blue Jays have, Cito's been zigging and zagging pretty well.
It's actually been remarkable when you look at how decimated the pitching staff has been and what they're getting out of the guys that are still here. But it's a testament to the guys who are healthy and the pitchers he's had to fill in with, and J.P. Ricciardi, who's done a nice job there. He's their general manager.
That's top foul. As we talked about, touched on last night, they also have the guy who was at the helm of that organization all those years that they were just a formidable force. A couple of world championships, Paul Beeston. Checks it up. AJ wanted it, couldn't get it, and the count 1-2.
He wanted the appeal, but Barajas didn't swing at that. I don't blame AJ for wanting it, however.
Another high fastball. Hit him on the fist, fouls it back. Baltimore leading Texas 8-5. Now it's a final 8-5. Orioles over the Rangers. Outfield about equidistant, swung around to the left. And a 1-2 pitch. He gone.
That's a big strikeout for Linebrink. You keep this deficit at 1 and take your chances. That fastball up and in. And Barajas tried to bring his arms in. No luck.
So here is Travis Snyder, who's 1 for 3. He had an infield single. That ball high and deep into left center. And Wynn's got it now. Brian staying right with it. On the track, makes a catch, and that'll retire the side. But the Jays get on the board. They break the tie. They lead it 4-3.
All out of the pen. He's 3-0. Has yet to give up a run. 8 innings, just 2 hits. He's walked 1, fanned 6. He takes over for Ray Halliday with a 4-3 lead. Sox have 6 outs to get 2 runs.
Jason Frazier, 31 years old, born in Chicago. Now resides in Oak Forest. He's not a big guy, 5'10", 175 pounds, but as Davey mentioned, he's been lights out. Placido Gaston. He's got his work cut out for him. He's got Quentin, Tomey, and Dye, Konerko, and Brzezinski, and Anderson, and more, hopefully. Well, when you see a guy who's not a flamethrower with numbers like you just called out, Stone Pony, it'll tell you one thing. Whatever he's got, he's getting over the plate, and he's getting it over early.
Well, Frazier's case, it's a pretty good curveball.
That good curveball will absolutely add 5 or 6 miles an hour to the eye of the hitter on the fastball.
Well, that fastball was 92, but it looked a whole lot faster because it's the same release point as the curveball.
And on the other side of that page, when a guy can't get his curveball over, that 92-mile-an-hour fastball looks like 75 coming up there.
True.
That's how to play. This game is so beautiful. I love baseball.
Well, it's the subtleties of the game, and it's played on so many different levels. On the surface, it's simplistic. When you get into it, you realize how well these coaches have to prepare and all the things they have to try to impart to their team. It can be pretty complicated.
Well, it's not played against the clock. You can't score when you're on defense, and when you're on offense, the other team controls the ball.
There you go.
That's a little bit low.
Well, you would think that if the Fraser curveball is a good one, it would be forthcoming. We look in at Barajas. We'll see what 3 is.
Breaking ball. There it is, hitting the hole.
Pre-game tailgating has become a White Sox tradition. Treat your group of 20 to 60 fans to a private party area conveniently located outside of Gate 2 at the ballpark entrance. Bring your own food or choose to have it catered by the White Sox. Call 312-674-1000 to book a White Sox tailgate party pad with discounted tickets.
Well, as you talked about earlier, Steve, the fact that Cito's having to zig and zag, and he's zigging and zagging right here. We'll be back.
The 10th time, minuscule ERA of 1.93, and he's on to face Thome.
Who's 1 for 3, now 1 for 4 as he hits a line drive right to Aaron Hill. They did not have the shift on. So quickly 2 gone. And here's Jermaine. Jermaine's due. He's 0 for 3.
Well, Cito didn't have the right-hander up, so he trusts Carlson to face a righty.
Little crossfire across his body vis-a-vis Scott McGregor, former Baltimore left-hander. And the count 0-1. Those guys that throw across their body as much as Carlson and McGregor did, if you get a good changeup as a hitter, especially right-hander, you're in trouble.
It also hides the ball so well because you're seeing a whole lot of elbow and glove and you're not seeing the ball.
That didn't take long, and a 1-2-3 inning for Blue Jay pitching. We'll go to the 9th, trailing 4-3.
Premium seating area located behind home plate features a Levy Catering pregame buffet, open bar, in-seat food and beverage menu, and premium reserved parking and much more. For more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/Jim Beam Club. And Bobby Jenks comes into this one. Sox 1 run down. Bobby's had pretty good years so far, on for the 6th time. ERA 3.60. He's 0-1.
Well, Bobby, of course, in a save situation is a different kind of guy.
It's tough a lot for closers to come in a non-save situation. It's hard to get the same feeling of adrenaline, the rush they get when they get to close one down.
He's got the top of the order. Scudero, Hill, and Rios. First ball, fastball hunting is Marco What-New. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI. That little bobble that allowed Scudero to knock in a run back in the 4th inning. That was Barajas at third base. Is really looming large now. Going away 1-1. And once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday for that 3-game series with the Blue Jays. Johnny Danks tomorrow night against Chris Jacobowskis. Can't make it. That game will be over WCIU. As that pitch is fouled away. Wynn's trying to bring it back in.
It is. Just missed. And AJ was fighting with Aaron Hill, who didn't seem to want to get out of the way. That was kind of an interesting situation by the on-deck circle as AJ was trying to get to the seats. This ball tried to fight his way back. AJ drifting with it. There you see Hill. Finally, he gets out of the way.
Well, I think Hill thought it was going to be way back, which it looked at one time it was, and that wind just brought it back. So it surprised him. Two and two. On Tuesday, it'll be Bartolo Colon against Felix Hernandez, and that game will be over Comcast Sportsnet Plus. And on Wednesday, in the finale of that set, in this brief 6-game homestand, Gavin Floyd against Eric Bedard, and that game will be over WGN. Off day on Thursday, and it's down to Texas and Kansas City for that 5-game road trip. Be gone.
That was a dandy of a pitch. And Scudero with no complaints. He knew he was just outguessed.
Aaron Hill takes strike 1. He's 1 for 4. Congratulations go out to the Bulls as they have evened up that series at 2 games apiece. Yes. Go back to Beantown, get one there. Come back.
Just get one.
And close them out. Same for the Blackhawks. Going out to Calgary. Blackhawks 5-1 winners last night. Take a 3-2 lead. A lot of things going on in this beautiful city that we are fortunate enough and privileged enough to live in. 2 down. For us in the bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be Konerko, Pierzynski, Anderson, the first 3.
Real nice part about this city is that you sometimes get all 4 seasons in the same day. So you never really know what to bring to the ballpark.
The one thing I have learned after being here for over a quarter of a century
yes,
is don't ever come to this ballpark without a jacket. That's part of the mystique of Chicago.
Well, this temperature can drop 30 degrees in a heartbeat.
That is out of play. Fastball at 94. Rios 0 for 4 this afternoon. That's tough foul down past Nick Leyva.
Blue Jays have been closing with Scott Downs, so it'll be real interesting the decision in the 9th inning with a 1-run lead.
Carlson didn't take long doing his job.
No, he threw the ball real well.
The 0-2. A little bit low. 31,459 in the house.
Over the top curveball. Just a little low.
And that is foul.
And there is the aforementioned Scott Downs. Just in time for a loss.
I like it. That's a great concept. That ball laced into right center field. Bryan will take his time, get it back in. So the 2-out double, and that'll bring up Vernon Wells.
Bobby tried a couple of curveballs, couldn't get him over the plate, then threw a high fastball out over the plate, and Rios has his first hit.
Wells has a couple of hits. A little flare single, scored in the first. A couple of ground outs, one to third, one to second. Then a bullet double leading off last inning, and that was a big hit because he came around to score, and that's the difference in the ball game. Toronto leads at 4-3. Tops that one foul. Count evens at 1 for the 30-year-old center fielder. Off the end of the bat. And that'll do it. We will go to the bottom of the 9th inning. We need one to tie.
starters sometimes, mostly a middleman.
Here's Konerko. Paulie 1 for 3. A big 2-out, 2-run double. As there's first pitch strike from the 6-2. Left-hander. Now 33 years old. Out of Lexington, Kentucky. Outfield straight up. Easy 2-hopper. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th.
In the first inning, our Dodge drive of the game, Adam Lynn gets a 3-1 fastball, drives it into the corner. He drives home 2, his 16th and 17th, and that's our Dodge drive of the game.
Here's AJ. He's 0 for 3. He's 0 for 4 and they're 2 out. So it's up to Brian Anderson. Is Brian up to it? Brian is 2 for 3 in this game.
This should be a decent matchup for Brian because Scott Downs can't throw it by him. The outfield, not playing a no doubles outfield. They're playing the same depth they've played most of the series.
That ball hammered into right center field. Get by him. Good cutoff right there by Vernon Wells to hold Brian to a hard single. For a second, it looked like it was going to get by him, and it didn't.
About 3 more feet to the left of Wells, and that could be a triple. And Vernon does a good job on it. We told you that fastball not quite fast enough to get it by Anderson, and he drilled that ball.
And that's exactly what it looked like Brian was thinking. You can't get it by me.
Now Brian comes out, and Jerry Owens takes over. He will have to watch the pickoff move of Scott Downs. Now the outfield is back in the no double defense.
Breaking ball strike to Alexei. Alexei last time up shot one right back through the middle. For a hard single. One time. A little magic here, 10. Jacks it up. He did not go. There's our buddy John Hirschbeck, crew chief down at first. On the inside corner, looked like a good pitch from up here.
Alexei didn't like it. Barajas wants it inside.
You see him jerk it back. Now you got to cinch it up, hunker down, Alexei. That ball hit hard in the left center field, but Snyder is there, reaches up, makes a catch, and this ball game is over. Dadgummit. So the rubber match is won by the Blue Jays and Doc Halliday 4-3. And Steve, I'll tell you what, the one feature